And speaking of B+, we have Tanner's Pick of the Week, which he can go ahead and talk about.
That's right, guys. We finally watched another Star Wars film, not just any Star Wars film, the original one, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.
What? Episode 4? I thought it started with Episode 1.
Shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. Star Wars Episode 4 is about... I mean, it's fucking Star Wars. Do I need to do a plot synopsis? I'm just kidding.
Talk about the despecialization.
You got the Empire, you got the Rebels, you got droids with a secret plan for a guy. They find Luke Skywalker, they find Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jedis, they get on the Millennium Falcon, they go to the Death Star, they rescue the princess, they have the plans, and then they blow up the Death Star. The end. Fun fact, in early drafts of the script, R2-D2 spoke English and cursed a lot. Even though they later changed it, C-3PO's reactions were left in.
I feel like I've heard that one before, yeah.
I feel like you've probably heard many, many fun facts about Star Wars.
Wasn't that in, like, one of our Star Wars rewrites when we did it? Like, I think...
Yeah, I believe that you specifically, Dylan, said, yeah, what if R2-D2 just swore the whole time?
Yeah, or like his beeps and his boops were him swearing, and I think one of you guys were all like, oh yeah, that's actually something that's true.
I think I responded with, that sounds like a Family Guy joke.
Man, what a movie.
Yeah, did you like it?
Quick, I need to talk shit about it before Tanner gets back. Fuck, he's
no,
back.
what, hang on, Jackson. What, Dylan, what do you mean, were you not into Star Wars?
I mean, I was, it's just that this movie didn't age very well. I remember hearing from, like, older people when, like, this movie was released. They were like, oh, man, the technology of when this movie was released was so good. It was, like, so ahead of its time or whatever. And I'm sitting here looking at it with that, like, idea. And I'm like, God, the acting's just, it's whatever. The effects are not great at all. The quality is, I didn't enjoy it very much. Tanner's gonna fucking kill me, dude. Tanner's gonna... I gotta change addresses, guys. I'll see you later.
Okay. I understand... Yeah, the effects... The effects look bad compared to effects of today, but, like, you recognize that they were ahead of their time, right?
Yeah.
Like, this came out in 1977.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm looking at Roger Ebert's review of this film, who's like, a big-time reviewer. Literally the first line of this, he refers to it as being an out-of-body experience.
What the fuck is he on?
We've used the term, if this movie aged well before. We've applied it to movies like Jurassic Park, where that movie actually did age well. I understand this movie is from before then, but...
Dude, it's from 20 years before then.
Yeah, the 70s were a different time. This movie did have pretty great alien costumes, especially for the era, and I think the practical effects they were doing were pretty mind-blowing as shit. Like, I think the space scenes were, honestly, they looked pretty goofy nowadays, but they were pretty well done for the most part. They didn't look, like, super janky. Like, you can tell what's going on. Like, you can put the pieces together. But, like, they're convincing enough, and especially for the time, you really have to give that a lot of credit.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that opening scene with like the Star Destroyer just flying through space, I thought that looked pretty solid. Like the scene where they activate the warp drive or whatever and blast off, I think that was pretty well done. Generally, I feel like the special effects were pretty good in this film. Other times they're not so great with what exactly they were going for. Looking at you fucking lightsaber fight, or when fucking Obi-Wan dies.
Or when they blow up a fucking planet and it's just the lamest shit ever to me.
Yeah, lasers and explosions do not. So basically, the parts that are not practical don't look very good.
Well, I just think that the choreography for the lightsaber scenes could be better,
What? It was badass, dude.
They were fighting with, like, invisible swords is the problem. I agree. I think it looked like absolute dog shit. I was busting a gut because of how fucking bad the lightsaber fight looked. But also, again, they weren't, like, I'm assuming they weren't actually, like, fighting with, like, anything. So it's, like, kind of hard. It's a lot harder to, like, coordinate that.
They had sticks.
Then they have zero excuse.
The lightsaber attached to the hilt looked like it was disjointed from it, so I don't... maybe that's true, I don't know.
Perchance it's impossible to say.
It's so hard. I was thinking this watching the movie. I'm like, it's so hard to judge this movie in today's day and age based on what we have, and I'm debating whether or not if I want to just review this in the light of when it was released or currently.
Dude, you're watching the movie. You're watching the movie right fucking now, baby. So I'm saying review it like it's right fucking now. I'm definitely giving it some kudos, of course, for what it was. You know, I'm not gonna just give it a fucking D tier because it is, but like I'm gonna be like ramping it up because like it was a really solid and revolutionary movie at the time, even though a lot of pieces of it did not hold up particularly well.
Yeah,
but there also, of course, are just flaws with the movie that are outside of just the time. Like I don't think asking for good pacing or like incredibly convenient writing is a must or a big ask from the 70s. They can do that. They just didn't.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it now, and I can't rate this movie lower than Spaceballs. So
that'd be fucking hilarious. Am I rating it lower than Spaceballs?
Which is a bit rough because I did put Spaceballs particularly higher than you guys. I
got Spaceballs with a C minus. I'm fucking golden.
What I think is funny is I caught a contradictive statement in the movie because we all know the joke that stormtroopers are extremely inaccurate. And at the beginning of the movie, when Obi-Wan and Luke are like trying to figure out what's going on, they come across the big like Land Rover thing that captures the droids, and Obi-Wan makes the acknowledgement like, these are scorch marks too precise, or laser shots too precise to be sand people. They were stormtroopers. And then we catch later on in the movie when Luke's like, I can't even see out of this thing. How does it? And it's a minor thing. I just thought it was funny because we all know the joke.
Yeah, I could go on for like an hour about like nitpicks and shit, but generally speaking, the TLDR of what I thought of the entire experience. This movie is incredibly fast-paced. It tries to do a lot in like 2 hours or something.
Yeah.
It definitely tries to fit in a lot more. It's a very ambitious plot, and generally, I think it did okay with what they were going for, but it certainly was much more fast-paced than it had to be. It didn't give it a ton of breathing room. And it probably could have been better executed maybe if we had better actors, but holy shit, I did not particularly like most of the acting, especially Luke was fucking dog shit. Holy smokes. He took a lot of the oomph out of a lot of scenes where I'm just sitting like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. I'm assuming he gets a lot better over time. This is like maybe one of his bigger first gigs, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
The Mark Hamill lore, but wasn't particularly good. But yeah, a lot of the writing in this movie is just really fucking convenient. I mean, I don't think it's like it's a crazy statement. The fucking stormtroopers are enemy number one here with this. They're like Senior Wifferston. I never felt like the protagonists were in any serious danger throughout the entire fucking movie, just because nothing ever seems to really present anything. I don't know. It was just a very whatever film for me, to be completely honest.
Dude, you're just being mean. The characters in this movie are fun, okay? Luke is whiny and he's hot-headed. Han is a cool guy. He's so cool. I love Luke. Han, I mean, not Luke. Han is, Luke is fine. Leia, she's weirdly, like, brash and bossy, which is fun. Like, you wouldn't expect that from a princess character. She also doesn't seem that fucked up when the plane explodes, but, like, we can disregard that. Also, this film is, like, unintentionally funny and also just plain funny at times, too. Like, when Luke is trying to gauge whether or not Han is into Leia, or when Han is having that conversation over the intercom and, like, asks the guy how his day is. That shit's just charming, okay? It's a fun little adventure film.
Guys, on this day, Nico and I stand united.
Holy
Fuck the
shit.
haters. Viewers, rip them to shreds. Get in the comments and rip them apart.
Dude, you don't even know what my rating on the movie is yet.
Is fucking excellent, dude. I loved this. It reminded me, I can enjoy Star Wars. I don't have to hate this fucking property. I can watch a movie and go away, oh my gosh, I had a good time watching a Star Wars film? I completely agree with what Nico said. The characters, I love them. They're charming. They're defined. It's a fun adventure movie. The dialogue is quippy and fun and enjoyable. The effects, I think, aside from the lasers, I agree the lasers still like look bad, but I'm willing to give it a pass for being from the fucking 70s. The effects hold up today. They look better than shit that comes out today, even, I'd say. The locations, I love all the locations, the different planets, the way the spaceships look, all this shit, it's so cool, I love it. This film fucking kicks ass, and you guys are gonna rot in hell.
I will say the ending for this film does really drag, though. I wasn't as big of a fan of that. Like, after they leave the Death Star, basically everything after that's like, okay, when are we wrapping this up? Is that all we have to say about Star Wars, guys?
Like I said, I didn't really have anything crazy to say about this movie.
No friggin' way. Tanner, where in the S ranks are you putting this? This is a classic film. You know you have to put it somewhere in there.
I have to leave room for other ones to get higher than this, and also I need to put it higher than Rogue One, so it's getting an S.
Okay.
Higher than Rogue One, oh boy. I changed my ranking given new light. I'm just gonna give it a... Let me make sure I'm just gonna give it a flat B.
Okay.
Christ.
I'm also gonna give it a flat B.
Kill him.
Let's fucking go!
Commenters, rip them to shreds.
I gave it a B minus personally.
God damn it, Jackson. We could have been united. The power of 3 is greater than 1.
I think like I agree with you guys. I think there's some charming elements of this movie, but generally it's really just not like a well-made film from like a technical standpoint for me.
Incorrect.
And that's where we can disagree. Yeah, I didn't really enjoy it that much, to be completely honest. I thought it was kind of dumb, and I wasn't really super immersed.
That's it. I'm unsubbing from the Patreon.
It's a good film.
Tanner, let's be realistic here. Jackson acknowledged that it's easily a D tier film. I ranked it higher than what I was gonna make it. I don't think Nico changed his, so like you should be happy with what it got. Not
the D tier thing was a fucking
Incorrect.
joke. I probably would say it's a more like average film in a lot of regards, and I'm giving it some credit for what it was and some of the effects they were doing being interesting for the time.
Editor, please put up the anime films he has put above Star Wars.
Dude, let me fucking check right now, baby.
Every anime film we've seen so far.
Yeah, there's not a single one. B minus. I gave, it's the same tier as Summer Wars, 5 centimeters per second, and Liz and the Bluebird. There we fucking go. That's funny.
Fucking hilarious.
You have fucking Summer
insane.
Wars
He's
on the same
out
rank
of his
as those
mind.
films.
I thought Summer Wars was okay, you motherfuckers.
Kill him. Slaughter him.
No, it's because Nico thinks Summer Wars is fucking peak.
It is, dude.
Yikes.
Anyways, they landed at a B plus overall. Another one to the
Insane.
pile. Another one to the
Ungodly.
pile.
Lamb for the slaughter.
We're gonna get beat up for that one worse than... Well, I mean, you guys are gonna get beat up for that one worse than Ghost in the Shell.
Listen, dude, I don't fucking care what the people that think Star Wars is an S tier think about my opinion of it, because I think they're wrong.